Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'll be discussing every problem in Pillar Chase 2. If you enjoy, please like and subscribe. If you don't, please leave any criticism in the comments. I'll try to respond. I'll say this now and not again, this is not a hate video. It is not intended to hate on the development team and is meant to be constructive criticism, showing issues with the game and my attempts on fixing them. I'm making this video because I love the game and with a passion I want to help fix it and its flaws. Thanks to my friend hopi for helping with the script, and let's get started. First off, we have, in the simplest terms, it's boring. As a new player, it's too confusing as you have no clue where to go and where to find objectives, due to most not being highlighted. But people have put this aside and grind the game to get better knowledge on objective location and figure out how to not run into the monster half the time. As an experienced player, however, the survivor gameplay is mind-numbingly bad. You spawn in, do the objective in 30 seconds, and go to corner to camp until the round ends or you hear the monster nearby. Obviously, this gameplay loop is fucking atrocious and not fun, considering that aforementioned is if you don't have max coins, because if you do, then this becomes even more of a chore, because then 9% of people who play at this point just care about XP. They'll continually server hop after doing the objective. While this is kind of being solved, with winning giving 2 chance, the other problem needs a solution, and I think a good one would just be make survivors interact better. By being able to help out your teammates would be a nice solution. Although I'm not a game designer, so I'm not too confident in how this actually fixes the gameplay loop problem. My solution for new players not knowing what to do at all would be making it so that during the first 3 hours of playtime, which can be viewed through the profile, every objective would be highlighted. Once you've played for 3 hours, no more highlight. This would help players learn objective locations till they're more experienced and start remembering them. Also, just in general, a tutorial can be accessed at any time that explain the core mechanics of the game. Next on the list is another large problem I personally really dislike. That being, needless to say, survivors are overpowered in their current state. Having 23 speed, very low stamina drain, it is almost impossible for any monster to catch a good survivor, even if said monster is overpowered, the only exception being the Forest King, but here's another topic regarding balancing. You might argue,
well, duh! Survivors are meant to survive, so making them weak would make the game stupid and fun!
But in a game where there can be up to 14 survivors, if most of the objectives quickly while being hard to catch and you barely get any additional time by killing them, you're just screwed at that point. Of course, balancing survivors is very risky when you go for the most important part of the game. A solution I thought of personally was making servers smaller, being up to 10, 11 or 12 max rather than 15. Although I'm not sure how much of this would fix the game's current problem with survivors and how they're so powerful. Another solution could actually be, this being more obvious, making corner camping heavily punishable, which will be explained on next. As I just said, next is, first of all, to any loopers or corner campers out there, you suck and I hope you get better. Okay now, as just discussed previously, this is a very big problem to making survivors balanced and or fun. As in saying that this is what 9% of survivors who know the game well do after their objectives. My idea would be to make it so that if you stay in a 30 or so stud radius continuously, you will lose sprint speed progressively and be highlighted. This wouldn't apply if you're in a closet or an objective for obvious reasons. Anyways, with that done, on to the next topic, that being, as the title suggests, competent survivors are very petty, and will 9 out of 10 times just Alt F4 before you kill them to negate round time, and if you care, remove your kill XP. Just adding a sort of combat log feature when being chased would be perfect, so if you leave the game while in a chase, you would get penalized when rejoining by i.e. losing monster chance, and rewarding the monster after kill XP and the time that would have been given if they didn't rage quit. Next is arguably the biggest problem PC2 has today, this being, this is a big one, so I'll just start now. I don't think I need to say much. 400 PCX reworks, MX and Vapor being buffed then nerfed over and over again, Wiz getting frenzy buffs every update and still being mediocre, monster reworks that change almost nothing. It all adds up to this game's balancing being pitifully bad. Some monsters like Mimic and Forest King are wiping gods, while Wiz will have a stroke and chase a looper for 3 minutes straight and lose because of it. And no, I'm not counting shift tapping as that is a bug and not a tech, stop denying it. It is very obvious that there needs to be a balanced team for the game, as it's getting ridiculous how long someone like Whis has been B tier and below, while Forest King has been left S tier since release. And no, before you say it, I'm not a Whis main, I'm just using him as an example because he's massively overrated. I don't think people realise how actually weak he is. Nor do I struggle against the Forest King. If you don't realise how Forest King, someone who literally has an ability that does 36 damage, has an 11-second cooldown, and is the entire map's range length isn't broken, you might just be delusional. Next is sort of like balancing, but it deserves its own topic in my opinion. This being...
Problem 1. You're completely bald.
Power creeping is a thing that happens in every game. If you don't know what it is, it's basically when two characters fit the same role, but one does the job way better than the other. There's a few examples in Pillar Chase too, like EXE and Forest King. Both are trappers, but EXE's traps are situational and only useful mid-chase while being easy to avoid. He has a lunge move which really doesn't help during chase, while Forest King has a very strong moving trap and glitching blitz, which is by far the best ability in the game. Other examples are Niloticus and Rosemary, our Oni and the Mimic, Vapor and Inkfell. It's simple really. There's a lack of creativity with the monster's designs that negatively impacts the game. Of course, you aren't forced to use one over the other because they are stronger, but it goes to show that it would be a better idea to have monsters with a variety of different movesets instead of very similar movesets that are distinct because of visual effect. Now the most obvious fix for this is simply reworking the monsters at power creep entirely or slightly, or tweaking some of their abilities. In the examples mentioned, reworking Forest King completely, reworking Vapor completely, which to my knowledge is already planned, but even then that just seems like another EXE, tweaking Rosemary a bit, reworking Mimic entirely, not only because of power creeping but also because he's incredibly boring. Next, this doesn't really affect me as I'm not personally a huge XP grinder, but it does for my friend Hopi, and even then it feels extremely boring to just have the entire lobby disappear on you. Enough of the yap, next is... As I said, this is more so a problem towards XP grinders than an actual general problem. It's really annoying to go into a round only to find that 3 out of 4 of the lobby has gone AFK, which denies a lot of XP and makes the monster around you go out for 20 minutes and within a minute and a half, or even people that AFK and die due to the anti-AFK system. There's not much to fix here, but I think making it so that people that die from AFKing gives you a flat amount of XP would fix the issue, and making it so that for every player that AFKs you get an XP boost, could be 5 to 10% and it would stack. Although this could be balanced by someone with more knowledge, or making it so that before the round starts you can see if someone's AFK or not. And finally, the one I personally had a huge annoyance about. Before I actually talk about this part, I would like to say I hate seeing people compare Forsaken to PC2. They can both exist simultaneously, but for the sake of this part, Forsaken is just a good thing to compare it to. Anyways, on with this, we have... With the recent release of Forsaken, this problem has really started to weigh down on me. In the aforementioned game, leveling killers takes about a fourth of the time it takes to diamond a monster in Pillar Chase 2, if not even less. The problem stands out in the fact the XP system is plain, simple, and is terrible overall. Niloticus, Rosemary, and Vita Mimic are all really hard to level characters, while Forest King and Fawadi are a breeze. Solutions are multiple, but I think just buffing the XP per hit would be a good start, maybe 3 XP per 1 damage, and also making the XP per kill not random, which is really stupid by the way, I don't know who thought of that, but a flat amount instead. Most abilities in the game don't give XP for some reason. Take for example the Forest King's Glitching Blitz, giving a whopping 125 XP per hit with only an 11-second cooldown. While Springtrap will one-shot you with his Axe and Fear and get a whopping 0 XP for it. Every ability should give XP. Continuing on from this is a list I made a few months back about changes with the XP system that I think would be good. First we have XP for winning, maybe like 750 to 1000 depending on how many players you killed. Next we have returning 1.5 times XP on weekend. I'm not sure why this got scrapped. Next we have staying in a server longer should give more XP, at a cap of 2 hours with about 1.5 times XP. When stacked with the weekend boost it would be 2 times. This will stop people from just finishing objectives for chance and hopping, abusing the monster chance system, and also encourage them to play for longer periods of time. Next we have fixing some abilities that kill and not give XP. For example, EXE grabs initial 10 damage and result in an XP less kill. Next we have non-ability kills should give 250 XP and ability kills should give 360 XP for every monster, completely removing the RNG factor. Next we have making XP gained in Double Trouble is shared between both monsters selected. It would stop people from actively trying to avoid Double Trouble. Overall, the things listed here would make more players want to grind the XP system and get the higher ranked monsters they want, without it being a huge pain in the ass and feeling like a torture more than actual fun. And with that folks, that's it. That's the end of the video. Once again, thank you for Hopi for doing this script with me, as these are problems both of us have shared for quite a while. I'd like to mention one more thing. This is not a hate video for the second time. I love Peter Chase 2 and its devs. I have high hopes for the game going to the future. I just want to point out some problems and how myself and Hopi would fix them. If you have any personal opinions on how to fix any problem mentioned here, or have other problems you'd like to say about the game, feel free to comment them below. And like always, any song used can be found down below. Oh, also, sorry for the slower upload. School just started again, so I might be only doing weekly/bi-weekly videos for a bit. Alright, see ya. Oh, also a quick one I forgot to mention for anyone still here, the zombie mask. This one fucking sucks, I hate it. It's as bad as players who just AFKs around, but even worse. Blade, please remove this and make it so you can kill zombies as the monster. It'd be so awesome. Okay, bye.